What is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to yet another Rome 2 Total War battle. This is a 2 versus 2 sent in to me by Darkspawn. If you guys have any battles that you would like for me to cover, if they are epic, if they've got some really interesting content in them, make sure to join my Discord channel down in the description below, and then go ahead and post any of your replays that you want covered inside of that Discord, and I'd love to be able to cover them. I have not seen this replay. I have no idea how it goes, but I am surely excited to be able to see it. Guys, also Total War League Season 7 starts, I believe, on the 14th of this month. If you guys want more information, I'll go ahead and post Marketable Skills Discord down in the description below. And if you want to join that, ask him any questions that you have. All of the information for that league tournament deal is going to be within his Discord as well. But guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I did want to go ahead and throw this out here too. If you guys like this video at all, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me out so much. Lets me know that my content isn't complete shite. If you guys also like this battle, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 300 subscriber count, and I would love you guys forever. But let's go ahead and get into it. So looking over at the attacking side, we've got Rome, the mighty Rome, the faction with which this entire game is named after. I mean, it is Rome 2 Total War after all. Looking at their army, we've got Hastati. We've got a whole bunch of troops back here. What the hell? Praetorian Guard spam. We've got 4 units of Praetorian Guard. Guys, I would never recommend bringing this many Praetorian Guard, especially in what I'm going to assume is a large funds battle. Although I could be wrong. It could be a ultra funds battle, but just Praetorian Guard aren't great. They're certainly not the best of the elite units. They're just not really worth it. If you're gonna go Rome, bring a bunch of Avocati cohort, bring Hastati, bring legionaries. Like, there's so many cheaper options that will definitely get the job done, and that's not Praetorian Guard. So just throwing that out there. But we do have 4 units of Praetorian Guard over here. We've got some units of Hastati legionary cohort, just some legionaries and cheaper troops to be able to push up these towers initially. And then I'm hoping that he has some sort of ranged troops in here as well. Looking over here, we've got the Seleucid player coming in with a nice thick line of thorax swordsmen, some Syrian heavy archers over here, 4 units of Syrian heavy archers. That's the great thing with the Seleucids, is that they actually can bring 4 of these super elite archer units that are very powerful, whereas most units that have the elite Syrian or Cretan archers can only bring 3 because they are considered as a mercenary unit. But yeah, looking over at the rest of his army, it's primarily going to consist of thorax swordsmen, the basic medium tier infantry that everybody loves to see. I mean, look at these guys. They are just absolutely gorgeous, marching down onto these walls and preparing to die in order to take the settlement for whoever is in charge at this moment in time. Looking at the defending players, we've got the Carthaginian player over here with lots and lots of elite Libyan infantry. Look at these guys. Red, green, white shields with beautiful feather tops and amazing armor and clothing. Definitely a little bit more colorful as far as Carthaginians go. Love to see it. They're also bringing over some mercenary noble fighters, some elites of the elites. These guys can pack a wallop. They have a heavy punch. As you can see, they got some heavy armor. Their legs are made of steel, so they feel no need to be able to protect them, but they are going to be able to get a lot of damage in. Also bringing in some Balsac slingers and Cretan archers, as well as some African pikemen as well, and some initial kind of cheaper units, Italian swordsmen, 3 units of those here at the front line. Last but certainly not least, we've got the Boii player coming in with plenty of sword followers, actually going in to the beginning with their sword followers, absolutely demolishing all of those that wish to come upon this wall here today. We got Balearic slingers that moved a little bit too close to the walls here, so they're going to get peppered a little bit by the javelin capabilities of these Celtic warriors, getting a little bit of damage in, but nothing too major at all. And then over here, we've got another unit of thorax swordsmen trying to move up the gate to be able to support his Roman ally. Rome going ahead and charging charging in with some legionary cohort, getting absolutely melted by the javelin fire of these sword followers. The sword followers are going to go ahead and get a nice side charge, stopping half of the legionary cohort from being able to charge in, while the rest of the sword followers get into melee, and they will completely surround these legionary cohort and demolish them. As you can see, their numbers are dwindling very quickly. And sadly, because the gate is still under the control of the defending forces, you're going to have plenty of oil coming down and burning these poor bastards to death. Even though it doesn't show that they're burning, I'm assuming that it is extremely hot oil, so it's going to cause a lot of losses right there. But looking at the rest of Bowiai's army, of course, we've got Axe Warriors, Sword Followers, Celtic Warriors. Let's see, we've got Celtic Bowmen, and some more Celtic Bowmen over here. Did he only bring 3 Celtic Bowmen? No. Wait, yeah, no. He brought 4. We're good. I was about to say, if he only brought 3, that would have been kind of sad. I would have been a little bit sad. But over here, we've got the 2 sword followers holding valiantly against the Roman forces. Rome's legionary cohort in the flank, trying to get some of their javelins into the sides of the sword followers. But you got to be careful. You're going to get a whole lot of friendly fire, and for the most part, it is going to miss. But if any fire does hit, it is going to just go ahead and hit your friendly troops. They do not have an angle on these sword followers, so they just got to be extra careful about that one. And now, I'm not sure why he's falling back these Axe Warriors, because this gives Rome the perfect opportunity to be able to completely surround these Sword Followers and decimate them. Sword Followers are not cheap. They are a very powerful elite infantry, but like any other infantry force, if they get hit from behind, then they will die. I love that. That guy is just like trying to push him back. That was beautiful to see. But now these sword followers are completely surrounded, so they should fall here relatively quickly. Bowiai's quickly trying to get some Celtic warriors in the fray to be able to support their troops, maybe get some javelins in onto the sides of these legionary cohorts. But it's most likely not gonna be enough to be able to take out this legionary cohort and save their sword follower brethren. Over here, we've got the Seleucid player really clumping up with their Roman ally. We've got Eagle Cohort, Legionaries. I have a feeling, I think this might be on Ultra Funds, because this is a lot of very elite troops for a large funds battle. Because we've got 4 units of Praetorian Guard, but still lots and lots of different Roman troops as well. And then the fact that Seleucid is able to bring so many Thorax Swordsmen, I'm fairly certain this is going to be an ultimate funds battle, but I could be wrong. Sword followers still holding valiantly. They are beginning to break again because they are completely surrounded with 67 kills for a 700 cost unit. In an Ultra Funds battle, that's not terrible. Hopefully those kills were against some more elite units. I know some Legionary Cohort and some more Legionary Cohort here, but they could have definitely gotten a lot more kills. And now we've got Archer Fire quickly coming in to be able to completely demolish these Sword Followers. But we have clumps and clumps of units in the fray. I would be careful about this. You don't need this many units in the fray because you're just going to tire out a whole bunch of different units. Just keep like one unit here to hold the line and keep doing damage while your archers fire. And the same with the defenders. Keep one unit here, keep one unit here, or else you're going to senselessly have all of these units tire out. Like, we've got these Celtic warriors in the fray, but for the most part, none of them are fighting, but they're all going to get tired. That's just how the mechanics of the game are. So you just got to be very careful about that. Never super clump up your guys like this. It's just not worth it. But Bowiai is going to go ahead and hold valiantly against these Roman forces, continue to hold their land. They do not want these enemy forces to be able to step foot in the land and desecrate the holy grounds that is this barbarian settlement. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the battlefield here. We've got a little bit of a standstill here. We've got Thorax Swordsman with 41 kills and only 15 men left. They are sitting here facing off against the mighty mercenary Italian swordsmen with 34 kills so far and 85 men remaining. They're just kind of facing off against each other, chanting at each other, calling each other names. You know, your mama's a whore. Fucking, your daddy looks like a elephant. I don't know. Whatever the fuck it might be. They're just sitting and chanting at each other, dissing each other. The Italian swords are going to go ahead and move in, but the support of the Thorax swordsmen on the side are going to just completely throw a whole bunch of javelins into these mercenary Italian swords, get a little bit of friendly fire too, but should be able to do a lot of damage against these weaker troops. Now we've even got some archers, some mercenary Cretan archers getting some great flanking fire on these legionary cohort. Well done by the attacking, or by the defending player. The attackers have no archers inside to be able to support their troops, so these Cretan archers have free reign in order to get some great flanking fire and absolutely melt some Roman troops over here. It's beautiful to see, and they should be able to get a ton. You can just see these legionary cohort beginning to melt like butter in a warm stove or oven. They are getting destroyed, and these sword followers are still holding valiantly. The Celtic warriors are beginning to break, but these guys are starting to do whatever they can to be able to hold these lines. We got a little bit of a push through from the Roman player, probably an accident. I mean, they were probably still chasing after these breaking axe warriors, and they just pushed through, so not a big deal. But guys, if you didn't know, pushing through is kind of an unspoken rule of Rome 2. Not that they were doing it on purpose, but just to let you know, it is an unspoken rule. Try not to do it. It's just a glitch in the game that shouldn't be there in the first place. And now we've got the Axe Warriors on the wall, actually just taking a whole bunch of fire from these Balearic Slingers, from maybe some of these archers as well. I mean, slings have a lot of ammo, so it's not necessarily the worst kind of unit, and they're also getting some side fire with the archers. If you're going to shoot at any unit that's on a wall like this, you want to do what the Seleucid player is doing, and get some nice side fire onto the Axe Warriors, which is going to melt them pretty nicely. Now we got the Roman player not letting up, bringing in some armored legionaries, continue to push up. We've got the Boii player starting to fall back to kind of these choke points right here. We got some sword followers holding valiant there, sword followers holding valiantly here, and just awaiting for their opponents to move in and engage with them. Over here, we've got the African pikemen are actually in the fray right now, doing some work, trying to take out these thorax swordsmen. The Roman player moving in their armored legionaries with the javelin capabilities to be able to start getting some fire on these African pikemen. Well done by the Roman player. And the Seleucid player just keeping the thorax swordsmen there just to be able to keep them stationary, and try to make sure that these pikes don't move up into the legionaries as well. If I were the attackers, I would definitely try to do what I can to move my archers in, because you could definitely use some archer support right now. That would be huge. Over here, the Roman player is engaged with the remnants of some of their weakened troops. We've got legionary cohort and legionary cohort fighting against a fresh unit of sword followers. We've got some supporting legionaries in the back. Great moves by the Roman player, trying to throw some of their javelin capabilities into the sides of these sword followers to be able to hopefully melt them, take them out so they don't have to fight them sword to sword. Sword followers are, I mean, they follow the sword. Their name is sword followers, so you definitely, I mean, they're going to be a really good unit. Great job, great counter volley by those axe warriors, getting some great kills against those armored legionaries. Armored legionaries trying to get a slight side/flanking charge against these sword followers, but getting flanking fired themselves by these axe warriors. So great moves by the Roman player. Oh, I mean by the defending player. The Roman player is just getting melted by javelins. But yeah, you want to take sword followers out in range. You don't want to take them out in melee, just because sword followers are such a powerful unit. They are meant to get a lot of kills, so if you can take out even just one sword follower with some javelins, then it's worth it, because you can save a lot of men that way. Looking over, the defenders are starting to pour in the rest of their troops. We got the mighty Praetorian Guard moving in as well with those absolutely stunning purple cloaks. I love their cloaks. I love the look of the Praetorian Guard. I just don't like using them that much. They're not a terrible unit, but they're definitely not the best of the elite units. But they are moving in with their beautiful purple cloaks. We've got some ranged units, some ball-sack slingers. We've got Syrian archers moving in. Boii is going to have to be extra careful with this Celtic bowman, because they will get absolutely melted by those Syrian archers if the Syrian archers decide to turn and face against them. The initial sword follower is still in the fray, but now is being supported by some axe warriors that have charged in. 37 kills so far. Sword followers having 60 kills, fighting valiantly against this large clumping of Roman troops. Beautifully done by the Roman player, moving over their Praetorian Guard and their legionary cohort to get some great side javelin fire into these sword followers, into these axe warriors. It's going to do a lot of damage and absolutely melt these guys. Syrian archers need to go ahead and start focusing some of their fire on the archers that are shooting at them, because they can absolutely melt them. You don't want to allow these guys to fire for too long, so hopefully the Syrians will start firing. Yes, and there it goes. Now we're seeing some fire go into these Celtic bows, and they should melt relatively quickly against the more elite archer forces, the superior archer forces that they are currently fighting against. But they need to start turning more of their archers to be able to start firing on them as well, to be able to melt them even quicker, which is exactly what they're doing. In these Celtic bows stand no chance. They will fall very quickly. Looking over on this side, we've got some armored legionaries. This is a great moment to be able to maybe push back this archer, get it out of range, and maybe get some great side fire. You might even be able to shoot at these armored legionaries from up there, but that is some fantastic flanking fire opportunity that the defenders just are not utilizing at this moment. The defenders are losing these Celtic bowmen. They are going to go ahead and break against the might of these Syrian heavy archers. They have 32 men left. They are wavering, and now they are broken. They are not shattered, though. There is a chance that they will come back, and you know that they still have ammo since they still have 28 men left inside of that unit. If I was Bowie, I would get this Celtic warrior good. Get this Celtic warrior the hell out of there, because you are being out-archered. I mean, the archers of Rome and the Seleucid player are going to out-archer you every time, so you have to be extremely strategic, extremely tactical with these archers, and just do whatever you can to be able to save their ammo and await a perfect opportunity to utilize them. Over here, we've got the Axe Warriors fighting valiantly against the Roman player, still holding off against these legionary troops. These guys are still technically in the fight because some of their troops are actually moved in, so they're still going to get tired, and that's why you should never have more than one guy fighting on one front, if at all possible, just because they will continue to get fired. They're going to continue to get tired. And these Thorax swordsmen are trying to do whatever they can to be able to get through these sword followers, but they are getting absolutely destroyed with the combination of these this archer tower and the sword followers fighting against them. They've got some archer support coming in, but it's going to be frontal fire, so you're going to get a little bit more in the way of friendly fire as well, and it's going to be frontal fire, so it's not going to do nearly as much damage as if you were to get side fire or flanking fire on these guys. But Bowie is starting to fall slowly but surely. He's got 25 sword followers left in this unit with 68 kills and 95 men left on these Axe Warriors with a little over 20 kills here, just trying to fight against the reckless hate that is the Roman player. So many units fighting against these guys all at one time. Over here, it looks like we're at a little bit of a standstill. We got the Libyan infantry still holding valiantly against the Roman player. We've got the armored legionaries and eagle cohort right over here, just trying to get some javelin fire on these guys, weaken them, trying to make them as weak as possible. Great archer fire while these African pikemen are turned around too. They're going to be able to get a lot of kills. Keep on firing out those pikes, because pikes need to die from archer fire. You do not want to fight them on the front lines, especially face to face, because they outrange you and they're going to do a lot of damage to you. Over here, we've got the Libyan infantry fighting valiantly against the Praetorian Guard. We've got the elite of the Roman Empire actually fighting against the Libyan infantry, trying to do as much damage as they possibly can and break through this line so they can continue to push for the victory point. Well done by Rome. Looking over at this side, we've got a couple of units of Libyan infantry holding valiantly over on this. I say valiantly, but they're just kind of chilling. They're chilling, drinking some tea, you know, doing what they do, just, you know, just hanging out, maybe making some small talk, catching up with some neighbors, some friends, family, whatever it might be. So they're just kind of here, hanging out here a little bit, and just waiting for their turn to be able to get into the fight, and hoping that they don't have to, hoping that the rest of their brothers and sisters in this battle can potentially take out the rest of their opponents. Praetorian Guard only having 58 kills so far, getting great job by the Carthaginian player, having their mercenary Cretan archers getting some great side fire and sword side fire, to be exact. I mean, if you're firing on the side, you want to try to make, if you can, you want to try to be on the sword side of any unit that you're firing at, because that you don't have that giant shield in the way blocking the archer fire, so it's going to be able to get a lot of damage in. These Libyan infantry won't be able to hold for that much longer, but they are holding long enough for these archers to really rack up some kills on some very elite troops. I believe the Praetorian Guard are 1,320 gold. They're around that much gold. So definitely a great unit to focus down with archer fire, so that way they're not utilized as well. Over here, the Roman player has completely broken through this section. So now that they have what is going on? I don't know. I don't even know what happened. I don't know if that was like a push through or what, because like, I mean, like the Libyan infantry were like kind of to the side there. That was just weird. Overall, that was just kind of weird. But anyways, now they got some Eagle cohort, as well as some more Praetorian Guard pushed up onto this kind of slight hill here, preparing to be able to engage with the rest of the Carthaginian forces that are here to hold at the end here. Over here, Rome and the Seleucid player have completely pushed past over on this side. We've got a lot of dead, a lot of forces that have lost their lives trying to push into the settlement or trying to push back their opponents out of their homes. But we've still got a lot of bodies ready to be able to go into the meat grinder. Praetorian Guard, Legionaries, Archers, I mean, a little bit of everything. Archer fire going into the pikemen, trying to take them out quickly, so that way they don't have to deal with them in the near future. Bowie still having a couple of troops. We've got an Oathsworn unit over here on the flank, holding the flank, making sure that none of their opponents are able to get there. We've got some Carthaginian cavalry, which could be huge, could make some great plays against maybe some archers or pikemen. So I'm excited to see what happens with that as well. We've even got another unit. We've got 2 units of cavalry, 3 units of cavalry. We've got noble cavalry and 2 units of Carthaginian cavalry, ready to be able to move in at a moment's notice and get some great damage in. So we shall see what Carthage does with their cavalry. One of the rules in Total War League is that you can't. I know you can only have a couple units back at the victory point holding, but for the most part, you'll have to have most of your like army holding kind of out here. Just as an example, like if you guys are watching future Total War League battles, if you don't see anyone doing like the good old fall back method type of deal, it's because it's against the rules in Total War League. So just letting you guys know. These archers, for whatever reason, the Syrian heavy archers of the Seleucid player are not there. They are okay. We got Rome coming in to be able to support his allies because his allies are somehow getting destroyed by some Celtic bows. So the Roman player is doing the smart move of trying to support his allies and take out these Celtic bowmen, which his troops can really just absolutely wreck these bows. So now they're starting to fire into them, but also only after having lost one of their archer forces. So they're going to start firing into these Celtic bowmen. Sadly, it's going to be a little bit of a wasted Celtic bow. The Celtic bow were able to get a little bit of kills, but definitely could have saved them and utilized the rest of their ammo in the future. Definitely never want to do an archer versus archer battle with light archers against what, 6 Syrian archers? Yeah, it's not worth it. Those Celtic bowmen are going to get destroyed. Those Syrian archers have armor. They have superior arrows that do more damage somehow. And they also have precision shot. Like, these Celtic bowmen do not stand a chance. As you guys can see, they are getting absolutely melted. And there goes more of Bowie's bows. Yep, another volley or 2 should shatter this unit unless you get really lucky. Yep, there it is. There, and it's shattered. It's gone. So, yep. We only have 1 Celtic bowman left by the Bowie player, which the Syrian archers, if they move up, like these Roman ones, could potentially be able to fire onto these guys too. Now we've got Cretan archers coming up to support, but again, Cretan archers are great because they're more elite too. It looks like they're actually out of ammo, so they're moving up to hopefully force the Seleucid player and the Roman player to waste ammo on them, which is always a great move. If your archers are out of ammo, they're great bodies to be able to throw in the meat grinder and hold off your opponents for as long as possible. But also, if you can convince your opponent that they still have ammo and have them waste a whole bunch of ammo on archers that are out of ammo, that would be huge. These archers already have 152, 163 kills. They've done their work. And now that they're forcing their opponents to be able to waste their ammo on them, that's absolutely huge. I mean, now the archers are going to fire into them, waste a whole bunch of ammo, and it's not going to be worth it at all. Over here, we've got Oathsworn from the Bowie player fighting against the elites, the elite of the elite, the purple capes of the Praetorian Guard, trying to do whatever they can to be able to hold them back and do as much damage as possible. Looking over at the other side, at the hill, we've got some African pikemen moved up into the fray. They are the weakened African pikemen that we saw in the battle earlier. They have 86 kills so far. They don't have very many troops left, but if you put them in the fray, they should be able to get a lot of kills, especially against the huge blob that is the Roman Empire right here. We've got 4 units in the fight right now, and a lot of which aren't actually going to be fighting, but just getting tired. Again, guys, please don't do this. This actually drives me insane because it's just, you want your guys to be as fresh and as powerful as they possibly can in a battle, and having so many units in here when you really don't need it on a small choke point, just getting tired for no reason, it's just so sad to see. But the Roman player resorting to brute force in order to try and break through these lines. Over here, the Bowie player with their Oathsworn still holding valiantly. Let's look over on the flanks here. We've even got the Oathsworn for some reason here getting peppered by the towers. I'm not sure what the Boei player is doing, but he's got the Oathsworn right here, not capturing the towers. You have to be in this circle in order to capture the towers, but they are just losing, going to take a whole bunch of damage from these towers. They're going to be losing man after man from these towers and just taking way too much damage that they could have otherwise prevented had they moved up and started capturing. And now we've even got Javelin Fire coming in and destroying these Oathsworn, so little bit of a waste of a very expensive troop from Boei. There we go. Now he's starting to move them up. They've already taken a decent amount of damage, but hopefully they'll be able to neutralize these towers and get into the fight with these Thorax Swordsmen, so that way they can start getting some damage done. Oathsworn getting demolished by the Thorax Swordsman. 120 versus 85. The Oathsworn are very elite. They are fresh, so they should still be able to get a lot of kills. I don't know if the Thorax Swordsman will be able to break them without the support of the towers, because they will be neutralized here soon. But the Oathsworn could have saved a lot of men if he had moved in sooner. So just, it's always hard, and it's always easier to talk whenever like you're not actually fighting in the battle, because micromanagement is one of the hardest things in this game. But it's something that everybody's gotta work on in this game, is just being able to focus on all of your troops all at the same time. So now we've even got some cavalry. While the Oathsworn is distracting these Thorax Swordsmen, the cavalry is going to go ahead and move up. These archers are completely out of ammo, so they're quickly trying to move up to be able to guard the flank of these Thorax Swordsmen, stop this cav from being able to flank around them. We've got the Roman player over here. They still have ammo. They got to be extra careful about that cav that's about to flank them, but that cav is now in the fray against these archers that are out of ammo. Archers doing exactly what they were sent in to do, and even somehow getting some kills against the cavalry forces, but just stopping this cav from being able to charge into the flank of the Roman players to archers. Rome really needs to send this Praetorian Guard and whatever other force that they possibly can around the side to be able to get in. We've even got the Carthaginian general that had moved in to try to get some flanking charges over here. It looks like they might have done a little bit of damage, but not too much, not too terrible. We got the shield bearer unit of the Seleucids actually charging the Carthaginian general. Get him out of there. Those shield bearers will be able to do a lot of damage. Carthage has to be extra careful. There we go. Now we got the Carthaginian cavalry going into the Roman player. We've got these Balearic slingers and the Syrian archers. Always have to watch your flank, especially as an attacker, because you never know what the defenders have up their sleeve. But now we got the shield bearers in the fray against the noble cavalry general of Carthage. Will he be able to take them out, or will he fall valiantly in this battle? Now we've got the Praetorian Guard in the fray with this cav. I would almost pull this cav back, move him around, and go after those archers again, or do exactly what you're doing. Go through, because that's what cav is meant for, and continue to fight against and harass these archer forces. Great moves by the Carthaginian player. Carthage now starting to move his general after the general had taken a decent amount of losses. Great job by the Seleucid player really defending his flank against that cav. Cav going in to be able to take out these auxiliary and Syrian archers. They have 76 kills so far. We've even got more cavalry starting to move in. That other unit of Carthaginian cavalry that we had seen previously starting to move around and look for a great opportunity to be able to start getting some damage off against their opponents. Now we've got this unit of Carthaginian cavalry starting to move around the flank as well. I don't know if these guys... Oh, these guys are shattered with 61 men left. That's a... Wow, that's rough. But yeah, this cavalry is going to go ahead and go around the flank and get back into these Syrian archers, completely shatter them so they cannot harass any more of their troops in this battle, and hopefully they'll be able to get this cav out here pretty quick as well. We've got another unit of Carthaginian cavalry over here on the flank, waiting for a great opportunity to be able to get a good flanking charge against their opponents. We've got some Royal Peltis and Thorax Swordsmen holding valiantly over in that corner, and this Carthaginian cavalry is still actually somehow breaking this legionary cohort right here. Great job by the cavalry, getting some great damage in against these troops. I would almost get the cavalry out of here, circle back around, go around here, Oathsworn, and then go ahead and charge into the back of these Thorax Swordsmen to completely break them. I mean, we've got Oathsworn fighting valiantly in this battle. This Oathsworn with 151 kills, this Oathsworn with 82 kills so far. If you move this cavalry around the flank, you'll be able to hopefully shatter these Thorax Swordsmen much quicker and free up this area and start completely surrounding your opponent. The Roman player over here moving in one unit of Praetorian Guard to be able to fight valiantly against these forces. We've got African pikemen over here trying to defend the side, trying to make sure that their opponents cannot flank around. We've got even more troops, mercenary noble fighters, stopping these Thorax Swordsmen from being able to get into the side, get into these noble cavalry. The general is already taking damage. Thoric Swordsman actually in the fight against his cavalry. If he can kill this general, that would be huge. That would be a huge morale loss for the Carthaginian players. So that was a good move, getting some Thoric Swordsmen through before they had covered up this gap to be able to try and kill this general. Sadly, I don't think it was enough. I don't think that the general is dead. I'm trying to see if I can find him. I think that's the general right there. So sadly, the general is not dead. But now the Thoric Swordsmen are actually completely surrounding these noble fighters, which is another great move. And hopefully getting some good damage off against these guys as well. We've got more forces, more mercenary noble fighters moving around the flank to be able to help reinforce this front line. We've still got some more Oathsworn by the Bowie player moving up to be able to help support this front line. So a lot of elite troops getting ready to be able to fight all that is brought up against them as well. We've got the Carthaginian cavalry trying to do some cycle charges against the shield bearers. Shield bearers are an extremely elite spear unit. They are meant to hold anything and everything without breaking. They are basically the Carthaginian version of what Spartans... the Carthaginian version of Spartans. I mean, they are very powerful. So getting cycle charges off against these guys may not necessarily be the best thing. Just try to save your cav, keep them surrounded, keep them distracted, keep them worrying about the flank. And then once you find a good open opportunity to be able to move in, then move in all of your cav to be able to get some good damage in. The Royal Peltis trying to utilize this little gap right here to be able to get around the flank of some of these forces. We got the depleted Oathsworn of Bowie with 38 men remaining, 153 kills, trying to hold this front line. We got the Royal Peltis going around that small gap, trying to get in and get around these forces. We got another fresh unit of Oathsworn with 4 kills so far from those Javelin forces, moving in to be able to fight against the Royal Peltis as well. So we shall see lots of forces to be able, lots of forces to fight against here in this battle. We've got some Thoric Swordsmen beginning to break with 83 kills. We've even got the Noble Cavalry, the Carthaginian Cavalry close by to be able to provide morale support for their troops. We've got the pikemen starting to move up to be able to start poking their long sticks into some Praetorian Guard and hopefully getting a little bit of kills. It's African pikemen with 150 kills, definitely not bad at all. And now these forces are going to get completely surrounded by some cavalry and by some Oathsworn as well. This Oathsworn having 184 kills, now getting peppered from the gate that their opponents had captured previously. Now we've got some Praetorian Guard moved out over here to be able to defend the flank. We've got the Shield Bearer General of the Seleucid player moving up to be able to try and take out these African pikemen with 28 men left, 166 kills, actually beginning to break this unit of Praetorian Guard that's trying to fight valiantly, but all of his units are just so tired because he's had them clumped up so much during this entire battle. We've got a lot of forces here from Rome and the Seleucid player breaking. It looks like this is going to be the mass break of the battle and the end of an epic battle. Well done by Darkspawn, his ally, and their opponents. A very good battle to be able to look at. Let's go ahead and look at the kills of this battle. Rome being the MVP of kills within the entire battle with 2,093 kills. And then Dope Man, Darkspawn's ally, coming in here second place, Darkspawn, and then the Burger Lover. Me too, brother, me too. I love burgers. Looking over at Rexy Boy and Darkspawn playing as Bowie, getting a decent amount of kills, 184, 165, 138, 108. And then Rexy Boy, we've got 111, 136, 116, 122, 101, 136, 196, 186, 206, 126, 141, 115. Looking at Dope Man and Burger Lover, aka Carthage, and the Seleucid player, we got 150, 163, 152, 127, 168, 122 overall. Not bad. Burger Lover getting 105, and that's about all that there is to mention here in this battle. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching this battle replay. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you guys liked it, make sure to check out my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/CAPN4IS. I do live stream there on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 5 p.m. MST. You guys definitely don't want to miss that if you want to hear more of my sexy voice and see my sexy face, which you guys have seen in a couple of recent videos as well. Like, subscribe, jerk off a quick one. Don't call your grandmother while you're jerking off a quick one. Love you guys, and I will see you again soon. Peace.